Hi everyone, and welcome to our pitch intensive. When we are discussing pitch, first of all, I would encourage you to pause the video and to download an app that actually measures your pitch. The one that I like to use costs $10. So the free ones that I recommend are voice tools, unless you want to download the one that costs $10, and I will tell you what the name of that app is right now. It's called Voice Analyst. That's the one that I like to use, but Voice Tools is a free app and Voice Pitch Analyzer is another free app. I believe all of these are available across iPhone and Android. So first things first with pitch is we want to know, where is your pitch currently at? Okay, so I'm going to use Voice Tools. Okay, Voice Tools is a blue and pink icon with a black microphone in the middle, so I'll tap that open. And what it does is it gives you a sentence right off the bat for you to say, and as you're speaking it demonstrates your pitch in real time, if it's in the feminine range, the androgynous range, or the masculine range. So this says the dry wax protects the deep scratch. So I've been speaking for a little bit, it's only picking up my voice, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the statistics button. And even as you speak, it real-time modifies the statistics on your voice. So at any time you could take a screenshot or just say, I'm gonna write down what I see. So my average pitch at this moment is 214 hertz. The high is 288 and the low is 171. Okay? So when starting to address your pitch, you want to gather your baseline information, meaning where are you at before you actually start working on your pitch to either feminize it or masculinize it or just bring it to a better, more vibrant, clear place. So first we gather our baseline information, and once you've done that, I want you to kind of gain an understanding of what pitch is, okay? So to understand pitch, it helps to think of it in terms of music. You can download the app called Pitch. It's a green app, it's free, also available on iPhone and Android. I like to use that app a lot to do the vocal function exercises, but when you use that app, and I'm going to open it up here, you can play different notes and try to speak off those notes if you've got a good ear, or else I would recommend training your ear, and I'll run through the vocal function exercises and then I'll demonstrate how I use that to find pitch and train new pitch, okay? So thinking of pitch in kind of like musical terms, pitch can be high, it can be low, the voice is an instrument, okay? What pitch you're naturally speaking at, we call a habitual pitch, and it is possible to reestablish a new habitual pitch, okay? Where your larynx sits right now is its most comfortable position, but it kind of just unintentionally went there as you grew into an adult and went through puberty. So we want to move the position of the larynx to be higher in the case of voice feminization, for example. And we don't want to do that though by like tensing or straining with the muscles. We want to slowly train the muscles and establish a new muscle memory so that the larynx naturally sits higher without it being too much of a cognitive load for you to constantly think about your pitch being high, and not like a tension and a strain on your larynx, because that can be very damaging. Okay, so different ways to describe the tones that a voice can take on. We can talk about the breath being, the voice being breathy or squeaky, nasal, raspy, hoarse, really robust and full-bodied, rich, resonant. Think about what your voice kind of sounds like to you and write those things down, and where do you want your pitch to actually go. It's important to understand where you want your pitch to go, and the way I would kind of suggest that maybe you think about where you want your voice to go if you can't describe it with words is to perhaps listen to people speaking on television, like a news anchor or an actor or a singer, or maybe you have friends or family members whose voice you really like. I call this finding a vocal model, okay? And it's not that you're actually striving to sound like somebody else, but you're picking out qualities, whether you can name them or not, of I like this aspect of this individual's voice, and I would like to perhaps find my voice, and my version of that. So assuming you've done all of that, and feel free to pause this video at any time to sort of think about those things, because some of this is a thought exercise. I'm going to move you through the vocal function exercises, okay, so that you can warm up your voice and also learn to tune and train your ears so that you can better find a new pitch. So with this app, Pitch, you open it up and it's got octaves in here. So octave 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, for me, I train on octave 4, especially if we're discussing voice feminization. If you are actually trying to go deeper with your voice, you would go with a lower octave, like octave 3. But for the purposes of this training, I'm going to stay on octave 4 for myself. That's where I can find my pitch really well. So what you do is, if you're going to do these vocal function exercises exactly as they are prescribed, you would start on F4. Play it for as long as you need to play it to really tune your ear to it. I'm starting to hum to try to tune myself in, okay? And once I feel like I've got it, I'm going to shape the vowel E, and then I'm going to hold that for as long and as soft as I can. All right, so here we go. I could hold it for longer, but for this, you get the idea, okay? You will do that exercise 2 times. Go ahead and do that. And now that you've done that exercise, assuming you found F4, we're going to do some pitch glide. So where you're speaking from, I want you to go ahead and just hum, shape into an O, and then you're going to glide up, and then you're going to come back down, okay? And I like to incorporate the body into this because I feel like it just helps to recruit all the muscles and get the voice and the body and the brain really connected, okay? So you're going to... I've been using my voice a lot today so you can hear these pitch breaks happening, okay? It's fine, but ultimately we don't want those. So one more time, we're going to do it again. This one you also do twice, so deep breath in. You may find this exercise very easy. You might find it really hard. You might have limited range. You might be cracking, breaking, experiencing some tension. Don't worry, especially if it's your first time. I want you to drink some water, take a deep breath, take a note of where you're at, and then you're going to revisit it again and again and again. Gently, slowly. It will change, okay? Practice. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do what are called power exercises. This is to build breath insurance and vocal endurance. Okay, so we're going to tap C4. No. And you hold it steady, slow, low volume as long as you can. Assuming that went really well for you, you would move up to D4. No. Moving on to E4. No. And then F4, big breath. And finally, G4. No. So, let's talk about what happens if you played F4 at the beginning and you were like, I can't get it. It's too high, it's too low, I can't get the note, I'm tone deaf. Here's what you're going to do. Play F4. Find it, Tina. I can't find it. All right, let's drop down to D4. Still tough. C4. Maybe you got it. And even if you didn't, tap down to octave 3. and start at B3. No. Do you get the idea here? Meet yourself where you're at. If you can't find a single note, then get into a range that's comfortable for you. Play that note every day, twice a day, until your ear is able to tune into it and you'll be able to find it. You can even practice gliding into it, okay? So if you have to, it doesn't matter, but practice it. Once you have found your ability to tune into these notes through practice, this is when I would say the real pitch work would begin. So if I want to find out what my pitch is when I speak, I'm gonna just go ahead and hum, and I'm gonna look at the pitch app and see where I fall, okay? So, so I'm landing about E4, okay? And it might be different sometimes, and you know, these apps are not perfect ways to measure your pitch, but whatever you do, be consistent. Where you're at, how far the microphone is away from your face, make sure that the app is functioning and generally picking up tones correctly, just by kind of maybe testing this against another app or with a piano if you're skilled like that. But for me, this works. I just go, yeah, and I'm back on E4. So I'm testing it that way, all right? And E4 sounds like this. So that's my natural speaking pitch as it is right now. Now, if I want to work on raising my pitch, what I would do is I would tap F4, which is just above E4. And using a big breath and a little glide up, I glide into F4 and see, can I hold it and be stable, okay? Another strategy for finding a new pitch is to hum on that note that you find and then add a little So you're using as a technique to elevate by inflecting up on the ending and then hold that hum for a little bit longer. So it sounds like this. On E4, that jumped me up to A4. Let's try it again. E4. Jumped me up to A4 again. So it takes you a few notes higher, okay? So that's where my larynx naturally went. So what that says to me is I could potentially learn to speak from A4 with probably some ease because my larynx just naturally went there. I don't want you to do it This is not about you getting loud. This is about you very gently easing and coaxing your larynx up and getting those muscles used to carrying your larynx higher to reestablish a new habitual pitch as well as give you new muscle memory, okay? Now, the other thing you can do to find a new pitch is download a piano app, or if you already have a keyboard at home, go ahead and grab that, okay? So I've got a piano app, and I was working off of Octave 4, so on this piano app, which is just called Piano, it's got the keys labeled C4 to B4 for me. Now for you, depending on where you're at, find your octave range by sliding this little bar back and forth, okay? So I'm gonna be on C4, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna just hum up the scale, if you're familiar with like the do, re, mi, okay? So let's do it together, starting on C4. This is training your pitch to expand the range and just giving you some freedom to play around with where you want your voice to go. So I'm going to climb up that scale again, and this time I'm going to do it on the word me, okay? Me, 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 me. Wherever you feel like you are landing and you like it, it sounds pretty, you're like, oh, I think that's where I want my pitch to be, stop there and just hold it. Me, 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 me. Again, that was G4 for me. Me, my. my name is Tina versus my name is Tina. Listen again. My name is Tina. My name is Tina. And you can also see how the body gets into it. When I'm using an elevated pitch, which is also getting incidentally paired with a nice forward resonance, my whole body gets into it. From the waist up, I am really recruiting the muscles of my abdomen and breathing into my diaphragm. I'm pushing and presenting forward. And it's a very confident body posture, and you should really allow this body posture to kind of take its effect on your cognition. Speaking from a place of confidence is very, very important. It takes some practice and a little bit of just, freedom in your thoughts to allow that to settle in. So give it a shot. Try sitting up really tall or stand up really tall and drop your shoulders down your back. Breathe in deep. Keep your chin. You don't want your head up. You don't want it to be down. You don't want to be forward. You want to be in like a nice neutral position and me, my, mo. My name is Tina. Does that make sense? Meet yourself where you're at, okay? Other ways to kind of give yourself some feedback on a higher pitch, take your fingers and really, really, really lightly just place them on top of your larynx and swallow a couple times. What happened to your larynx? You probably felt it bob up and down, okay? Those muscles are pulling your larynx up and closing off the windpipe, opening up your food pipe so that you can swallow. Okay, this happens really quickly. We do it hundreds of times a day when we're swallowing our saliva. Those same muscles are what pull up your larynx for pitch. So when you do swallow, see if at the top of your swallow you can gently just contract those muscles to hold the larynx up. You're not holding with your hand, you're holding with a very gentle little squeeze of your laryngeal muscles. So, and then let it go. I don't want you to squeeze and tense to the point where it's you feel any discomfort. It's very gentle. So this is kind of, again, giving your brain that feedback of, okay, we're pulling the larynx up, we're speaking from this place, so let's try that swallow and hold technique and try to speak from that. It's a little bit tense and uncomfortable if you are over exerting that hold, so let's try. Hi, my name is Tina. It drops a little bit, but the idea of this is to just give you more and more feeling of control, because you do have more control, okay? Good body posture, full deep breaths, elevating the laryngeal positioning through a couple of swallows, and then elevating through a good and then speaking from this position is better than getting slumpy and sloppy and unintentional. I want you to notice, pay attention, and be really, really intentional, okay? Using that pitch app to give yourself some biofeedback is what we call it. You're speaking, you're looking, and seeing where you're at and where you want to go. At this point, I've given you a lot of information and oscillated between demonstrating some techniques and talking about the technique. So why don't we actually just go to our baseline voice and hum together, and then try to elevate our pitch and get into some of the techniques a little more strategically. So with wherever you're at, I just want you to hum. Good. Breathe in again, hum again, and this time I want you to actually look at the app and see what note you get. So again, I'm falling on E4. Okay, so I'm going to now play E4. And now I'm going to hum it. And you do the same. Hum, see where you're at, play the note, hum it again. Now play that note again, and then stop playing it, and you're going to use to to see where you go. This time I went to G4. Previously I had gone to A4. So I'm going to now play G4 and see if I can slide into that slightly higher note. Okay, so I've been doing this for quite some time, so it was easy for me to get into G4. If that's where you get stuck, that's okay. Pause the video, take a couple days to practice gliding into that higher note, all right? And practice your technique. From that high note, for me is G4. I'm gonna play it again. May. Me. My. Mo. Moo. May, me, my, mo, moo. I'm watching the app, but based on what vowels I'm saying, my voice will jump up and down. But it's more that I'm paying attention to how it feels to say these words when I'm speaking off the G4 pitch, if that makes sense. So again, I'm going to play G4. May. Me. My. Mo. Moo. Okay? So try that. And I know this might look very similar to resonance work if you've done it, but this is not so much about focusing on like vibrations. It's focusing on hearing your pitch elevated and sensing what it feels like to hold your larynx in that higher position and then speaking from that place. Okay? When you speak, you produce a lot of vowels, and I want to talk about these vowels to you and pair it with some work as we keep moving along. So we have vowels that are high front, high back, low back, and right in the middle. And depending on where the vowel is, your voice will resonate differently, so it'll be perceived like the pitch is dropping. For example, listen really, really carefully to the sounds I'm about to create. Heat, hid, hate, head, hat. Again. Heat, hid, hate, head, hat. I went from high front to low front. Now let's listen to high back to low back. Hood, hood, hode, hod, hot. Okay? So I'm still speaking in my feminine range, but definitely the resonance is different as it's shifting from the high to the low, from the front to the back, all right? Now, knowing that about vowels, we're gonna play our elevated note and we're gonna try to speak into those vowels while still maintaining a higher pitch. Heat. Hid. Hate. Head. Hat. Do you hear that? That one went really low because it's a really low vowel. Jumping back up for the high back vowels. Hood. Hood. Hode. Hod. Hot. Hot. It's very effortful to do this, and in the space of practice, I always say let's train the extreme so that when you get into just conversational speech, you'll know how to reset yourself, you can hear yourself, and you can, you know, get right back up if you fall out of the range that you want to be in. So we've practiced the hums and the single syllables and now the words, and just like anything else, you would build this into short phrases, sentences, and conversational speech. Okay? So, moving forward, if you master this this really easy, natural and speaking from that more elevated space and you want to go even higher, you just add another or you can use this pitch app to just play the higher tune for yourself. So if I was at G4, I'll play A4. And now I might want to speak from here, but it's not that easy to just start speaking from there, so we might use some singing to help us get up there, okay? So with A4, it's pretty high for me. May I have that? See what I'm saying? So that's how you target pitch. Lots of different strategies that are used across voice therapy can help to relax and open the larynx, really bring a lot of sensation and a lot of awareness of the body in space and how it sort of affects pitch. So a big yawn and a sigh can relax if you've been doing this work and you're like, my voice is getting tired. So big yawn and a sigh. Swallow and gently hum. Fingertips on the larynx. Hum up the scale. And you kind of feel your larynx disappear from your fingertips as it goes higher and higher and higher. Okay? This is really fantastic. One other thing that I would say is really take these tools, break this video up for yourself, and just get into a weekly strategy. This week I'm gonna hum. Next week I'm going to just speak from a slightly higher pitch, and then build it from the words into the phrases into the sentences until you're ready to really start exploring the area of conversational speech with a trusted friend or support group, counselor, therapist, family member. Okay? If you have any questions or thoughts or feedback, please get in touch with me. My email is thevoicestylist@gmail.com. You can also find me on social media @thevoicestylist. And I really look forward to hearing from you, and I hope that you have great success in your journey to your elevated pitch.